Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anil and this is a complete project for React and Laravel. In Laravel, we will write our APIs. In React, we will consume these APIs and develop our front end. So this is basically a e-commerce dashboard. So you might have first question here, what is e-commerce dashboard? So dashboard is basically a portal. Here you can upload your product that you want to sell on your e-commerce site. So let's start with the modules of this product. So before starting with that, I want to share two things. One, if you want to get the code of this product, then you can get it from my GitHub account and link is given in the description box. Second thing, this is not a new project. I already have complete series on React and Laravel project. So I just combine these all videos in a single video so that you can get one video access for all these videos and you don't miss any part of this, right? So now let's start. We will create login and sign up module. After that, we will create a list of product, add product, delete and update product module. We will also integrate search product, and in the products we will also use image, because image is basically a complicated part. Otherwise you can say that this is completely a card, right? But image uploading just give you another effect. And you will get the another more things like how can you add the routings, how you can add you can say that the switches and all, and how you can add bootstrap and all, right? Now let's see what technologies and tool we are going to use. Obviously we will use Laravel as a backend and React as a front end, MySQL for database. We are not going to use Redux in this project because we want to make a simple project here. We will use Bootstrap for better and responsive UI. We will use Postman for test our APIs. So one more thing, if you don't know what is API and what is Postman, then don't worry, I will teach you everything in this video. And obviously you can get the link of the code from description box. And these are the screens. These are not exactly 100% screens that we are going to develop, but you can say that yes, we are going to develop these kinds of screen, right? So this is like a list screen, this is for login and sign up, and this is for update, right? So now let's start. In this video we will set up our React project. For that we will install our React.js application, then we will run it, and we will add bootstrap and routing also, and after that a basic setup will be done, right? And what modules and what features we will develop in this complete series, I already told you in the previous video. Link is given in the description box if you just want to watch that video. So now let's start with the writing a new application. So I already created a folder with the name of project, because in this folder we will put here our backend as well as our front end. Front end, as you know, that we are using React.js, and for the backend we will use a Laravel so that we can create APIs and other things also, right? So just write here cmd and write here npx create React app and our project name, which will be ecom dashboard, and just hit the enter. And after that, first of all, it just npx will be set up here, and then our project will be created here, and it will take a little bit time, so that I'm just going to pause our video so that we can save time. So application is installed now. So now we can just go in inside this our application folder, and after that just use your code command for open it inside your Visual Studio Code editor. You can use any other editor also, but I will prefer this editor because it will provide the lots of features like extensions and auto intelligence and all, right? Even you can use any other also, that's totally up to you. So now just also write here npm start command to run it on a browser, and within that time we can open here our terminal also, so that we can install parallelly bootstrap and routing, right? So just open official site of React Bootstrap and just go on a first link, and let's click on get started. And after that, here you can see that npm installed React Bootstrap and Bootstrap. These are the two libraries that we need to install for using Bootstrap inside React, and make a enter, right? And here you can see that our application is also running, so we can just remove this by default code. We just don't need it, right? So just go to the app.js and remove this extra code. We will just write here a simple line. Let's say h1 ecom project or something, and now let's check the output. This is working perfectly fine, and within that time this package is actually installing. What we can do here, we can install our we can add the library path also. There is a two way to use a css library. One, you can use directly css path, or second thing, you can use cdn. I will prefer the local css path, because if your internet connection is not working, cdn will not actually working, right. So now let's open index.js and put this path here, and just wait for a moment to install it. So bootstrap is installed now. So now let's try to use it. First of all, let's take a button so that we can check the difference between normal css, normal html buttons and elements and all, and the bootstrap elements, right. And just write here simple button, and let's import one more button from bootstrap. Import something from React Bootstrap, and let's just import here button. And now let's use this button here. Keep in mind, whenever you will use a bootstrap button, your first letter will be capital, and when you use a normal button, your first letter will be small. Just write here bootstrap and let's save it. Now you can just check the difference between both of them. It'll just about to give an output. Sometime this is a little bit slow at the starting. After that it will working fine, right. This is a simple button and this is a bootstrap button. That's why we are using bootstrap, so that we can save some time with the css, right. And after that let's jump on a React routing, and I just go to the first link, right. And we already provide you the tutorial for React Bootstrap and routing and all. You can watch our previous playlist, which is given in the description box for a link, right. And just install this package also. And in this video I am not going to show you example for the React router DOM, because we will use it later time, because whenever we will just create some routes, because for a moment we don't need to make any route, otherwise this video can be gonna long. But if you still just want to looking for a small example, then you can just go there and just grab some code from here and just use it, right. So these are the points for this video. We will see just a small introduction of our project. Even I already told you about our project in a front-end videos, but still we will take another small introduction. After that we will see that how we can install Composer and Laravel installer, and at the last we will install our Laravel framework and run it on the browser. So for introduction, this is basically a e-commerce dashboard project. We are just creating a small and simple project, and I hope it will be completed within 12 to 15 videos. We will use React.js as in front-end development, and for a backend obviously we are using Laravel, and here we will create our APIs, and MySQL we are using as in database system. So if we are talking about the feature, we will create a login sign up feature, and then we will create add products, how we can add the images with the APIs, and update, delete, and search product and pagination kind of things, right. So now let's jump on a browser and just write here Composer, so that we can just go to the official website of Composer and install it. And let's click on a download. And there is a two way you can use the command line, but for Windows I will recommend you to just download a setup, and then you can just install it, right. And just click on it. After that it will ask some options, like you just want to install for all users or for current user. You can select any option. Then there is some other options like for developer mode and something. So you can just take a simple installation. You don't need to just choose options and provide the proxy and all, right? So they are not much required for even basic projects. And after just installing, we will just open our command line and we will check that this is installed and on or not. So, and even you don't need to just check it in any specific directory. You can just check it anywhere. Like I just want to check it that this is installed on my system or not, because this will be installed basically at a global level, right? And just write here composer. When you just write it, if it will just give you an error command not found, that means your composer is not installed, right? And if it will just provide the version and some helping commands and all, that means this is installed properly. Now let's go to the projects folder. And even for a moment you don't need to just go there, because first of all we will install a Laravel installer, and this is again a global thing, right? So again open your command line in anywhere in your system and just write, or you can just copy and paste composer global required Laravel composer. Global required simply means that it will just installing this package globally in our system, and after that we can access it in anywhere, right? And let's just wait for a moment. Now installer is basically done. Now let's just write here Laravel and enter. If it's giving an error like command not found, that means this is not installed and we have to install it again or check the error. Otherwise if it will just providing you the sub commands and version and all, that means this is installed, right? And now just simply write here Laravel new, that means we are creating a new application, and ecom, and your project name whatever you just want to put. I just want to put here ecommerce backend, and now it will be just start to install our Laravel framework backend, right? So it will just take some time, so that I'm just going to pause this video. Whenever it will install, we will try to run it, right? So from framework is installed now, let's just use here cd and our folder name to just jump inside it. And now let's open it inside our code editor. You can use code command to open it inside Visual Studio Code. If you are using any another editor, then you might have to open it with the another command. So now you can see that all folders and file structure is working fine. So we will talk about file structure in another video, but for a moment now let's run it with the php artisan serve command, right? And now we can just open it on a 8000 port, localhost colon 8000 port, and here you can see that this is working fine. So with that way we can just set up our simple project, and in this video we will define routing for our project. So now let's start with the points of this video, then we will jump on example. First of all, we will make some component like login component, header component, and registration component, add product component, update product component, etc. And after that we will define routing, and in header component we will use bootstrap navbar, so that we can make a decent navigation bar and header without writing extra css. And in this navbar we will define links for our pages, and these pages will come from our components, right? Now let's just start with the writing our component. First of all, I'm just going to make a file with the name of login, and here we will make our login component. So just write here function login, and we can return statement. Inside a div we can make a h1 tag, and here we can just write here login page. Now just export it, export default login, and let's copy this component and use this code in all components so that we can make a simple skeleton for every component, and we will write more codes and logic whenever we will make a separate video for every component. So now just define register component dot js. Don't need this extra s, and just paste this code and replace login name with register. Make two more components like add product .js, and one more like update product .js, and last one is header .js, and just simply write this. Let me just change this text also. And change the text and replace the spellings with the add product. And just export it with add product. Now we can close it. We don't need it for a moment. Even registration and login, we can also close them, and just click on update product and just replace the text date product, and replace the exported name also, and at the last let's just go for header. So right here header. Even you can just change the name of this file if you want. This is not mandatory, right? All right, everything is fine, but in header we don't need this kind of text. We will just need to define some navigation bar, right? So just right here React bootstrap navbar, and there is a lots of navigation bar example. You can just choose whatever you want. So I will prefer that one, which is in the black color. So just take that much code, which is fair enough, and replace with it. And also we need to import this navbar and nav from bootstrap library. So right here import something from React bootstrap, and just right here navbar and nav, and we don't need this form for a moment, so we can just remove it. And now let's import this header inside our app. So just right here import something from header, and obviously our component is again header, and let's use it like this. Now let's see what we are getting as an output. This is looking good. We have a nav bar here with 3 menus. Yes, we need to just change these menus text. So now just make a link here. For that we have to import React routing, import something from React router DOM, and let's import here link, because we just want to replace our links here, right? So just use link like this, and we can just put here home. No, we don't need to put here home. Just right here add product, and we have to mention here two simply means where it have to jump on a click. So we can put here add. On that we can just add some more links, 3, and 4th one we can just remove this bootstrap link. and just write here update products. We can just write here products, right? And then login and register. And let's remove this product also and just change here add update, which is we are changing the link here, login and register. Great. And here we can put our product name also, like ecom, like this. Okay, so here you can see that we have an error, you should not use link outside a route. But where we have to use this route? There no, you don't need to make a router here, you can just make a router inside app.js. so simply use here import something from React router DOM, and just simply browse here, import here browser router, and make a wrapper like this and use it just inside our div. And now you can see that this is looking okay, but there is no space between these links, so let's make some space between links. So for that you can just put here CSS inside header. Let's take let's add a class here, navbar wrapper, like this, and just open app.css and just simply write here dot this a, because inside it we have a anchor tag, right? You can check it from here if you want, like this, and just put here padding left 30 pixel, and now we have a decent space, and this is okay. The links is changing the URL, but there is no page to open. So now let's see how we can open any page here. So for that we have to import these all components inside our app. So just write here import login from login, and let's make a 4 copy of it, write registration, add product, change that one also, and update product, and let's change it also. Now let's import here route, like this, and just simply write here route like this, and let's say you can just write here a login component, right? You want to open here a login component, but on which path we want to login component? So path should be defined here, so just simply write here login. Now you will find nothing is actually working on that one on registration. On a login, okay, we have another error because we just need to write here a slash. Now you can see that there is a no component on add product, update product and registration, but we have a component on login, right? So that's why I just put here path. So the similar path we can just put for all other component also, like register. For that we can open register, add, and for on add path we can open here add product, and at the last one we can write here update. On update path we will just open here update product. So how these path will be we will achieve? They are actually open when we click on these links. So you can see that these paths are mentioned here on a links. So now you will find that every path will be working fine on okay. So I just need to change this component also, update product. So why okay, just I need to just update here text, update page, add product, update product or page, whatever you can say. Just let me write here product. So we just created a skeleton for routing, and in the next video we will see that how we can just add a login page, and we will make a login API also. The link is given in the description for that API whenever we will create a login page, right? In this video we will create our first API for our project, which is sign up API, or you can say that registration API. It's totally up to you, both are the similar thing. So let's take a look on the points of this video, then we will jump on a practical example. We will make a database and a table, then we will connect this database with the Laravel, and after that we will make a controller and router, and we will send the data with the postman and save our data to the database, right? And after that we will test our API completely, and in the next video we will integrate this API inside our React.js front-end framework library, right? And for that, for a moment we will use a postman to test this API. So now let's just jump on a phpMyAdmin so that we can just make database and table very easily, right? So let me just create a database with the name of ecom, and let's say my table name is users with 4 columns. And now let's put the columns name, let's say ID, name, email ID, and last one we can, let's say, put password. And our ID can be integer, and it will be primary key, as well as it will be auto incremented, so that we should not be increase it manually. And after that we can put our name, email address, and password varchar, and we will define some adjustable length, let's say 100 or something. And now let's put password again as in varchar, and let's save it. Perfect. So our database is ready. So now let's connect it with the Laravel. So to make a connection with the Laravel, we don't need to do much things. So just go to the env file, and just you need to adjust these 3 things. First, database name, and which is already ecom, I already provided that, and your username, it will be by default root if you did not change your username with the MySQL, and password is again blank in my case. If you just change it, then you can put your password, and I'm very sure that in 99% case your password should be blank, right? So everything is fine. Now let's just open a terminal here and make our controller. So just write here php artisan make controller and controller name. Let's say my controller name is user controller. We can make any name to our controller. I'm just putting it user because this is relevant to registration and sign up and all. So here we go, and this is created inside app http controllers and there. And now let's create a function inside it. Let's say my function name is register. And now for a moment let's return here hello, right? And let's make a route for it, and where we will put our route inside routes folder. And when we are making website, then we are just putting route inside web.php, but when we create APIs, we have to just define these routes inside api.php. So just import our controller here. So just use here use app http controllers and user controller, semicolon. And now we will use the passport or Centum kind of token, but we will just do it later because might be some viewers or some beginners may be stuck on these tokens. So first of all we will create a simple sign up, then after some videos we will just add here Centum or passport package. And now just write here route and method. So let's say we are using a post method because in a sign up or registration time we are basically use a secure way. So post is much secure than get. And here we can put here our route name, let's say register. And in a second parameter we can just simply put here our controller name, which is user controller : class, and in its second parameter we will just define our method name, which is register, right? So just define it here, and after that we can test it with the postman. So and output should be hello. So just go to the postman, select the method post. Sometimes we guys are just selected the wrong method here, which is not synced with the our route. Sometimes we are just putting here a get and trying to use it with the post, or sometime our method is post and we are trying to use it with the get. That time it will just give a error that method is not spotted. I will show you that error also, but first of all let's try to use it. So just write here localhost and 800, this is our base path. Then API means that we are just writing our route inside api.php, and after that register like this and try to hit let me check what's wrong with it. Okay, so I just need to put here a colon, I just missed that. And now you can see that we are getting hello as in response. That's great. I just want to show you the error. Sometimes we just select a wrong method, then you will just find an error like this: get method is not supported or post method is not supported, this kind of error, right? So keep in mind that you are using right method. That's great. Now let's just connect with the database so that we can just save the data in the database. Okay, so just try to send some real data from our postman to user controller, right? So what I'm just going to do, let's go to the body, select row and just select here JSON data. Now just send some JSON data like name can be Anil, we can use a double quotes here, then email, and it can be like anil@test.com, and after that let's send a password, and I will use a same password every time, which is abc@123. The reason being maybe we will create a many users, or might we just forget the password. Yes, we will just create a forget password option also, but for a moment our password will be encrypted in database and we cannot find it. That's why I will put a same password for all users. Okay, now you can see that we are still getting hello, because we are not just trying to retrieve this data here. So just write here request and $req. This is a parameter which is a type of request, and this request belong to HTTP request. And now simply return here $request input, and now you will find that we are just getting the data which is we are sending from postman. Okay, I think I just forgot to put here semicolon. Here we go, we just got the same data that we are just sending from the postman. So now let's see that how we can save it in the database. First of all, we need a model, and you can just simply create it with the command, let's say php artisan make model and model name, right? Let's say user. Why I'm putting here user? Because our database table name is users, and there is you can say that the combination that if our database table name is plural, then our model name should be singular, right? So we can just create it. But if you're just trying to create it, then you will just see that model is already created, because Laravel already provide you a model with the name of user by default, right? So we didn't know to create it. So what we can do here, we can just simply import it inside our controller. In the upcoming videos, like we are adding the product and more, then we will create some more tables. So don't worry about that. If you don't know that how we can create a new model and all, I will show you in the upcoming videos. But for a moment, our model is already created by the Laravel. So just write here app, import it, app models, and here we can put here simply user, right? And now let's make instance of it and just use here new user, and just put here user name is, we will just get this name from request, which we will send from the postman or our front end, and it can be name, right? And let's make two more, one for email and another one for password. So just put here email, and email is here again, and let's put one more password, and we will just get a password. But there is an issue, because we cannot save this password directly with it. We must have to just encode it or decode it, right? So how we can encode it? With the hash library. So just simply put here use illuminate support, and then facade and hash. And now just simply use this hash class here, and it have a method with the name of make, and we can just use it like this simply here, and after that just use here use save method, and it will save this data to the database. And obviously we want to retrieve our some information like ID and username and email from the database. Then how we can retrieve? So just simply put here dollar user, right? And now you will just get this data here. So let's try to send it again, and here we got an error. Yep, this is a genuine error, which is updated at field is not found here, unknown column updated at. The reason being here, because in our database we don't have any update at and create at field, but Laravel actually demand these fields. So how we can resolve this issue? You can just create two more fields, but I don't think so we that need these tables. So what we can do here, we can just go to the users, and we can add a property here, which is public dollar timestamp false, right? And now let's try to hit it again. Now you can see that our data is saved, and we just retrieved email ID, name, and ID, right? But why we did not just get the password? Let's see that what we are just getting in the table. We got the ID, name, email, and password, all right? But we only just retrieved 3 fields. Why we are not getting password? The reason is, in a controller we just hidden this field, right? If we just comment it out, then you will find that this is the password is again visible here, but password should not be visible like this. That's why we'll just make it hidden only. And now let's try to say one more user. So let's say another user is Sam with the email ID like Sam. And now you will find that again the Sam is also saved with the ID 2, and let's check that is it stored in the database or not. Here you can see that both users are saved here. These are the points of this video. One more thing guys, before integrating this API in React.js, I will show you that how you can test this API on a Postman, because as a front-end developer you must have to test this API before integrating, because if you are just trying to integrate directly, that you might don't know this error is coming from backend or front end, right? So first of all we will make a HTML form, then we will get these values from a HTML form inside our object and send to the backend API. After just returning the successful result, we will just save this result inside a local storage, because based on this result we will just decide that user is logged in or not, or signed in or not. And this will be a complete flow for API integration. One more thing, after registration we will redirect this page to the add product page, right? But still one functionality will be pending in this video, and that we will complete in the next video, which is after registration and login, these menu will be still here, right? That how we can just hide them, and how we can protect just going to back on login and registration, we will learn in the next video. In this video we will specifically learn that how we can make a form, get values from the form, and integrate our API. So now let's start with the code. So now let's jump on registration.js file and create a simple form here. So actually we don't need a form, because we are just getting these input values inside a state. So we can just simply put here our inputs, like type is text, and that's all for a moment. And now you can see that this is really a small input field and not looking good. So what we can do here, we can add here a bootstrap class. We already integrated our bootstrap in our application, which is form control, right? And now you will find that this is looking good, but this is coming on a whole screen. That how we can protect it from the whole screen. So that what you can do here, you can just use here class name call sm6, but still there is a problem, it should be in the center. So how we can put it center, we can just simply add here offset. So just use here offset sm3, and now this all content is coming in the center. That's great. So now we can add here a placeholder also, like name, and let's just make two more fields here like this. But now you will find that there is no space between these fields, so we can add here a br tag. Even we can use some kind of CSS also here, but to save the time I am just simply using here a br tag. And at the last, let's make a button and just write here sign up. And this button is not looking well, also looking good. So for that we can add here a btn primary class also. And now this is looking much better. And we can just change this name also, like password, and here we can just write here email, and we can just change it as a password, because we don't want to show this password to the user directly, and we just want to show here dots. That's great. So now how we can get these fields value? For that we need at least 3 states. So just import here a React import React and use state from React. Alright, so now let's create three states. Let's make a const name, set name, and just write here a use state, and by default value can be blank. Similarly, make two more for password, and let's write here set password, and email, and just write here set email for setting up this state. All right, so now how we can update this state, which is really simple. We can use here on click on change event, and just take a event parameter from here, and write here set name e dot target dot value, and let's add three more for set password and set email. Oh, my bad, set email. Great. And now let's define these, bind this state with the values like name, password, and at the last email. Now let's try to fill that everything is working fine or not. With the name working fine with the all field. That's great. Now let's make a function here. Let's say function sign up, and let's try to console these all state here. So that's, let's say name and password and email, right? And let's call this function on click of this button. Great. And now let's open console and try to sign up, and now you can see that we are able to get these values, all values. That means we just get these values inside the function. So now let's convert these three states with a object. So just simply write here let item equal to object, and these, right? Now we have an object here. If you just want to print it, then you can just put here simply item, and here we go. Now this is converted inside object because we just put here two brackets inside around it, and they will automatically convert it inside the object. So now let's use here okay, so now it's time to test our API, because now we just want to integrate APIs, right? Okay, so first of all, what we need to know, we must have to know our API parameters and URL. So how will you just get to know? Your backend developer will tell you that what parameters you need to send and what is the URL of that API and what method is using. So we are using post method because I just created this API, so I know that, right? And you can just simply put here local storage, and port is 8000 and API registration. And inside body we have to select row and JSON data, because from front end in 99.9% APIs we are just sending JSON data. And now just select here a name, then let's say it's XYZ, it's like dummy name, and then password can be like ABC XYZ, whatever you want. And after that email can be like xyz@test.com, and I must have to wrap it inside quotes. So now let's try to send it. If it will return 201 result, that means this is working fine. Here you can see that the status is 201 and this result is stored with the id 10. So as a front-end developer, you cannot confirm until that you are just signing up with this URL, right? But I just created this API, so I can just show you that this is stored inside a database also. Here you can see that with the id 10 this is stored. That's great. So this is not a useful name, so I'm just going to remove it, right? Because we will just add another user with the help of React.js, and this is our testing on a Postman. So I need this URL, so let me just get this inside you can see that our function. So just write here fetch API, put this URL, and in the second parameter we will just put here some optional methods and optional keys, which is like a method, and we will use method post, and second one is body, and we will just send item here. But you cannot send item directly with it, you must have to convert it in the string. So just write here json.stringify item, and after that one more important thing, you must have to send here headers. That means it will tell that what data you are sending and what data you are accepting, right? And if you just want to get that how you can just send, then you can just select it from here, content type, like this. Okay, I don't need much stuff, so I will just copy it from here. Even you can just write it also, it's totally up to you. And this like this is a key, and the value will be application JSON or application form, whatever data you are sending. But in 99% cases we are just sending JSON data, so you can just simply write here what's happened with it. Okay, application JSON, and one more parameter we must have to send that, which is accept, that what data we will accept here, right? So we will accept again application JSON, so just write here same. Okay, and that's fine. So because we are, whenever we will hit our APIs, it will return always a promise, so we can use here async await, right? Async, and let's take a variable like result, and it will be just wait for this result. After that it will just resolve a one promise, but whenever we will call APIs, there is a two promise, one for calling the APIs, second one for resolve the JSON, right? So again just resolve one more like result dot JSON, and let's put here await automatically resolve our promises. All right, so now for a confirmation you can just check that console.won result. That means it will just check that result is coming or not. And now let's see what we will just find here. So again I will just send some data like Peter, password abc@test.com or something, whatever you want. And again email address is, let's say, peter@test.com. let's try to sign up it, and now you can see that we just got this result. And let's see, is it stored in the database or not? Yes, this is stored. That how you can check that your API is working or not, and the data is just sent through the APIs or not. Here you can see that registration, our URL of our API, even you can check the URL here, post request type, status code, and this data that we just sent, and the data that we are just receiving. All right, so now I'm just going to remove it again because I don't want much more entries. I will just make a genuine entry and redirect it on a add product, and I just want to also add this data to the you can say that local storage, right? So just coming from here, you can just simply put here local storage dot set item user info. This is a key, and we can just store this result inside a local storage. But there is an issue, we cannot store this data directly. We must have to convert in a string like this. And after that, how we can just redirect it to the add product page. For that, we must have to import history from React router. So import something from React router DOM and just right here use history, and let's take this history inside a const like this. And now let's simply write here history dot push and your URL, and my URL will be add here. And now let's see what we are getting here. Just now right here let's say Peter, and password will be abc@123, and email address can be like peter@test.com. Let's sign up on it, and now you can see that our one more API is just fired from here, and we are redirected to the here, and in database we just get again one more entry. And now let's check our local storage also, and here we go, we have this Peter email address and all other data inside our local storage also. If you still have any kind of confusion, you can ask me in the comment box. Yes, I know that after just login or registration, these two items should not be there, and I will just tell you in the next video that how we can handle these. So let's take a look on the protected routes, then we will go through with the another things of this video. So protected route simply means the URLs that we want to hide from the unauthorized user, right? So for example, if user is not logged in, I don't want to show the add product and update product page. So I just want to make them protected routes. So for that, we will just use a small logic, and that is simply a protected route, right? Nothing more than it, and it's really simple. And after that, we will hide the login and registration menu after registration. So let's say we are just registered a new user or logged in a user, then these menus should not be visible again because user is already registered and logged in. All right, after that, how we can redirect, I already told you about the protected route. Then the next point is logged in and registration redirection. So why this is necessary? So let's say we just hide these menus, but user can still just jump from the URL. That how we can redirect if user is just trying to go on a login after registration or login. And same thing we can just do with the product pages also, and after that this will be a complete flow. All right, so one more thing guys, I actually just want to change the flow for the header. Here you can see that we are using the header inside app.js. If I am just going to hide it from here or comment it, then you will find that we don't have header here, right? But there is a problem with that. So because we are just using it on a single page, so we cannot pass some data inside it from a registration page or from a login page, because we are using it inside the app.js. Yes, there is a way to pass data, but there is a really long way. But in this project, because we are on the initial level, I just want to make I just want to show you a simplest way, so that I will just hide from here, and so that we can just pass the data from all modules, I will just include it on the all pages, right? And in the upcoming videos you will understand that this is a really easy way. Yes, when we use Redux and we will make a complex product, then I will show you that how we can handle it with the another ways also. So for example, for a moment, now let's import header from header and use it. Now you will find that this is visible only on a login page, right, but hidden from the all other pages because we are just using on a login page. So now let's use it with the another page also, like registration, and we can just add here one more div because we need at least or you can use a simply fragment like this, right, because we are using call spam hairs, otherwise it will just visible in a small areas. That's great, and let's do the same thing with the add products. And at the last, let's do the same thing with the update product also. Now everything is working fine, header is working fine on all pages. So let's just open a application here. As you can see that no user is logged in, as we just leave on the previous video. So first of all, let's just create a new user. So let's say my username is Bruce with the ID or with the password, let's say abc@123, and email bruce@test.com. so whenever I will just register it, you will find that there is a one entry will be done inside our local storage, and here we go. And now we are on the add product. So if user is logged in, then we should not just show these login and registration page, right? Then how we can hide them? So there is a simple way. Just go to the header now. Where is header? Yep. And if user is logged in, then we can show these two pages. Otherwise, if user is not logged in, then we can show these two pages. So now just write here local storage dot what's wrong with it? Why just not showing me intelligence? Now that's fine. Okay, get item. Here we can write here user info. If this is done, then what we can see here, we can just add here fragmentation and add these two items after login, right? And if user is not logged in, then again we can just add these two item in a else point like this, and let's format it. And now you can see that after login we have these two menus. That's great, but now you can see that user can directly jump on from login and registration, so we have to just stop it also. Now for that, let's go to the registration page and let's simply check here with the use effect. Just import here use effect, and simply write here use effect, use it, and we just want to call it only once, so we can put here blank array. And here you can just simply check if local storage dot get item user info, and then how we can just simply redirect it, and for that we can just simply use history.push, right, as we are just importing it from React router and initializing to the history. right? And now let's try to do it with the registration. I am just going to put a registration, but it will just go to the add. Same thing we can do it with the login. Let's just go there, and here we go. We can copy this use effect same with the same way, and even you can write or copy this line also for hooks, and you can just use it upside or downside to this use effect. It doesn't matter. Now try to go with the login, and here you can see that we are just going to the add product. So now that's great, everything is working fine. So let's say a user is not logged in now, so I'm just going to remove my local storage here. That means we are just logged out, and now we have these two options, right? But user still can go to the add product from this, and from update also, right? This is again a wrong way, but there is a different scenario. We know that for a login or registration we have only two pages, so we can just check these local storage from directly here. But maybe we have thousands of pages after login, like a profile page, setting page, change password page, add product, update product, list, and much more things like post and many more things, right? So we cannot simply use this way. For that we can just simply make a protected routes, as I already told you here, right? So let's make another component. Let's say protected.js, and now just make it quickly, I am just going to write it like this. I don't need header or anything here. I am just going to remove, and for a moment I need it again, but for a moment, so that I can just show you the simplest way or without any complex code. So I am just going to remove everything, and let's write here protected like this, and now import it inside app.js. So simply write here import something from protected, right? And now let's use it for the add and update product like this, but we don't have any this now. And similarly just use this protected for update also. Like, then how we can use update product, and how we can use this component? For that, just pass you can say that props with the any name. I'm just choosing cmp, that means component, like this, right? And you can do the same thing with the add product also, but still you will find that there is a nothing to show, right? So if I just go on add, there is a nothing to show. If I just go on update, nothing to show, right? But how we can just visible this content? So for that, let's again go to the protected and just take a params, let's say props, and let's take a variable like cmp or anything, props dot cmp. This cmp is just coming from here as an props, right? And just simply use cmp, and now you will find that this is working, right? Update and add, but they should be redirect, not, we don't want to visible. That's the another case if we are logged in, but if user is not logged in, these should not be visible here, these should be redirect. For that, what we can do here, we can simply check again like login, right? So just import these DOM first of all. Okay, this is already imported, we don't need it, and just simply check that out from here to here, and simply put, if this is not logged in, then just go to the register like this, right? And now let's see, we got history, unexpected use of history. Yes, I got that, because I must have to just copy that thing also, or you can write it. It's totally up to you. Okay, so now you can see that we have registration. If I'm just going to, okay, just let me refresh it once again. If I'm trying to go on add, I cannot go there without login or registration, right? Update, not possible. And that's the fine. Let's just use login with the register with another user. Let's say Tony. Password is abc@123, and email can be like Tony@123 sorry, test.com. And now you will find that we got one entry here, and we are on the add and upload product, and now we cannot go on a login. That's really great. So these are the points for this video. First of all, we will add a logout option inside our header, and it will be visible only after a user logged in. And after that, we will make a function so that we can call this function for logout functionality. And after logged out, we will redirect our user to the registration or login page, and we will test our complete flow of this functionality also, right? So now let's get started. So most of the code we will do inside our header component. So let's directly jump on header.js. Here it is, right? So I'm just going to make a drop down so that on the click of this drop down we can just see the logout option, and here we can just see the username which is logged in, right? So just come here and create a functionality for that. I'm going to create just one more nav like this, and we can add here a drop down which will be nav drop down, right? And we must have to import it from here. This is automatically import whenever we will just enter on suggestions, right? And just define here title, and let's say my title name is user name, and after just some moments I will just place here actual username. And now you will find that we have a username functionality, and there is a no logout button for a moment. So let's create it. Nav dropdown dot item, and here we can simply put here logout like this, right? But these should be visible after user logged in, not before logged in, right? So I will just manage these things also, but first of all let's check these things. This is working fine. So now let's create a user registration. So let's say my username is Tony, and password is abc@123, and email address can be Tony@test.com or something, right? And let's sign it up. And now you can see that we have a local storage with the user information, and after logged in we have the two menus, add product and update product. And let's show the actual username here, and after that we will create a logout functionality. So let me take a variable with the name of, let's say, user, and just get the value from the local storage dot get item, and our item name is user info. And we cannot access directly data from the local storage. We must have to parse it. So just write here json dot parse, because in a local storage data will be stored inside with the string format like this, right? And now if you just want to check that what we are just getting inside a user, then you will just see we will have all information about the current user. So let me just refresh it, and here it is, Tony email address and ID and all. So just use here Tony user dot name, and here you can see that we got a Tony here. But due to the security purpose, so that let's say if name is not defined, so that it should not be just to show any error, so we can just simply use user and username, right? So now this is still fine. All right, so now let's make a function for logout. I'm just going to make a function with the name of logout, and make console, or we don't need to just write here console, just simply use here local storage dot clear. We want to clear all data because user is just gonna log out, so we don't need any data inside local storage. And after that we can redirect it. But how we can redirect? We need a use history hook. Let's create an instance of it. Const history is use history, and now let's just use here history dot push, and just write here register. Now let's call this function on the click of this item. Like this. Now again let's click on it on a logout, and now you can see that user is logged out. But there is a problem. These menu also should be hide from here. So what we can do from them, for that you can just simply check if local storage is available, then we can just show these menus. Otherwise we can show null like this, and now this is not visible. And to test the functionality, we can just make it one more user. Let's say Peter abc@123 or something, and email address like peter145@test.com. and let's go inside the application so that we can just check the local storage also. And here we go. Now we have a use local storage, and we have a logout option and everything. And let's click on logout, and now everything is gone from here. And these are the pre-autofilled requests, so we can just remove them, right? So this is the way that how you can just add a logout functionality, and how we can make API for login. And these are the 4 small steps for this video. First of all, we will make a function and router for login. Then we will fetch and match the data from the database, and this data we will send from our Postman. And in the next video we will integrate this API with the React.js, right? And the 4th point is we will just test this API completely with the different user, and the users are already registered here like Anil, Sam, Peter, Bruce, Tony, and Stark, right? All right. So now let's jump on Laravel, and we will use the same controller that we are used in the previous video for registration API. So let's make a function for login, and we can return something for a moment. Let's say login API, so that we can check that router is working fine and all. And for making the router, we will jump on api.php, and we can just make a copy of our previous route that was for registration. Let's make a route name login, and it will call a login function inside a user controller. That's great. So now let's try to test it on a Postman. Just select a post method and just write here login. Here it will just provide the autocomplete, because I already used this API in my other videos also. And now let's try to hit it, and here you can see that the status is 200. That means everything is fine, and we got a login text. That means router is working completely fine. So now let's fetch the data from database. So obviously we will just get the data from Postman, so that we must have to use here $request parameter like this. So just use here $request, and it will be a request type, and this is our basically a request class, which is a part of HTTP. And here, but let's take a user variable, and it will be a user model instance, and here we can put here where condition. And what we will match here, our email ID. So you can just simply put here email, and in the second parameter let's put here $request email, right? And we will send this email via Postman, and obviously we will get our first result, because at the same time only one user can be logged in. All right, so now let's see what we will just getting inside a you can say inside a user. And why we are not matching our password here? The reason being, our password is basically in an encrypted form here, so we cannot match directly with it. We will just match it with the hash function. I will show you how, but first of all let's check what we are getting inside. So let's go in a body section, select row, and just select the JSON data, and now just send here password, and the password we can send like abc@123, because for every user password is same, so that the reason behind is might be we are just creating some different user and putting some random password, might be we will just forget the password. That's why I will just put a same password for every user, right? But the encrypted password is always different for everyone. Here you can see that the key is different. So let's select any user that you just want to log in. Let's say I just want to log in here Anil. Just come back here and put here email, and email address is anil@test.com, like this. And now let's hit it, and here we go. We just got the all details like name and email and all. Let's try with another user. My another user is Sam, and here we go. We just get the data from second user. That's working great. So now let's match the password also, because if we are just sending the wrong password, then it will still fine, because we are just matching a email address here, right? So come back to the code, and let's compare the password also. Just write here if there is no data with the email address like user or hash, which is our encryption and decryption class, and it have a function, the check method. Inside it, let's pass here password request password and $user password, right? And it should not be, if this is again not matched, then what we can do here, we can simply return something like let's use an array and just put error. Let's use a small error and simply put user email or password is not matched, right? That's okay. And now let's save it. Now let's see what we are getting here. We are still getting okay, so we just got email or password is not matched, but these are actually matching. So let me check what is problem. Yeah, I must have to use here not operator, because if the user is blank or this password is not matched, right? Let's check once again, and now you can see that we got the data, right? That's working fine. So let's say if I'm just sending a wrong password like 000 or something, which is actually wrong password, then it will just tell us email or password is not matched. That's great. So now let's check it with the another user, and after that we can just confirm that this is working fine. So let me check it with the Peter also. So just go to the postman and simply put here Peter and like this, and this is still okay, I must have to put here 3. This is still working fine. That means our API is working great. How we can integrate login API? So we already integrated our registration API, because of for login we need some registered users. That's why we just created a registration functionality first, and now we are jumping on login. So these are the points for our video. First of all, we will test our API on the postman, because let's say you are integrating API and you are just facing some errors, then you might don't know that these errors are actually coming from a database, or these are actually front-end errors, right? Even if you are an experienced developer, then you can just guess that error type, but at a beginner level you might be confused. So we will test our API on you can say that postman, and then we will integrate it in our project. So after testing our APIs, we will make a simple HTML form. We will get this form data in our state and send to our API on a submit button click. And after this successfully submitting data, we will just store this data to the local storage and redirect to the other page that can user access after authorized, or you can see that logged in. And we will test our complete API flow, complete login flow. You can see that we will just log in some users, then logged out and all, and you can see that it's kind of testing. So now let's start. Let's start with the postman. So I am just going to close this page because I'm just testing before this making video. Now we will just do it again. So first of all, we must have to know the method of API, which is post. And how will you get to know that what is your URL, what data you need to send, and what is the method of your API? API developer will just tell you everything that you want to send. So now let's just get URL. My API URL is postman 8000 API and login. This is my API URL, and I created this API in Laravel. And after that, we have to send some data. Let's select row and JSON data. You might need to send some other kind of data also. Depends on your API type and what your API actually expecting, but 99.9% they will expect the JSON data. And now we need to send a to field, which is email. So let's say my email is anil@test.com, and the second parameter is basically password, and password in my case is abc@123, and now we can test it. Let's send it, and here you can see that the status for API is 200. That means everything is fine, and this is our data. So let's say I'm just going to send some wrong data, like just wrong password or something. Then you can see that I'm getting that email or password is not matched. Great, this is working fine. So now let's just create a form, and after that we will integrate this API. So let me just jump on a login page, and let's make a form. Input, even I can just make it formatted. All right, so let me just define the type of this input. It can be text, placeholder, let's say email, right? And now let's check out the look and feel of it. Let me just go on a login. This is not looking cool, so I can add a bootstrap class here. So let's add a class name, and it can be form control. Now let's see, this is actually just grabbing the whole width, and this is not looking good. So what I can do here, I can simply make a div, and inside div let's make a class name. It can be call sm6, and now you will feel that that's okay, but everything is coming in a left side. So how we can make it center? So let's just define some offset sm3. It should be in a center now. That's great. And now let's add a br tag like this, not like this, like this, and make a copy of it. And let's make a button. Just write here login, and I can add some class name here, like btn, and after that btn, here you can just put here primary, and now this is looking good. All right, so let's define at least two states. So just write here const email set email and just simply put here use state can be blank, and after that we can put here password state and set password. All right, and now let's set this state. How we can set? Just use your own change event, and now let's find a event parameter and just set here set email, so that you can just watch it clearly. I am just taking it inside the next line, and set email is a function, and use here e dot target dot value. Same thing we can do with the password also, and I must have to change its placeholder to the password, and it should be a password type, because we cannot use password as in text, otherwise it will be visible, and just use here use password. All right, and everything is working fine. Still, use your on click event, call a function, let's say login, define it. I can define it here, function login, and now let's console. Let's take yes, console is fine, console.warn, and let's see what we are getting inside a email and in a password state. Let's open the console also. Let me put here email address like anil@test.com, and again password, let's say for a moment 123. This is not correct even, but we can check that everything is working fine. All right, now we want to call here API, but we need to collect this data inside object before it, right? So let's use here item and make object of it email and password. All right, now just use your fetch function, and we can pass here our URL for API, which is here like this, and let's store this result inside a variable result, and this function should be async, because this API will be actually returning a promise, and we can handle it with the wait. And in the second parameter we can send here method can be a post, Then after that we can set here headers, and inside headers let's put the two parameters. One is, let's just copy it from here so that we can save some time. Content type, that means what data we are just sending, and we are just, right, my bad, content type, and it will be a JSON content, right? And just paste it like this. And second parameter will be accept. What data will be our, we will accept we will accept the JSON data. Everything is fine. Now let's set here a body. In a body we will send our data like item, but we cannot send this item directly like this. We must have to change it inside a stringify format. Just use here JSON dot, what's wrong with it, JSON dot stringify, and put here item. All great. And after that it will return again a promise. Why it will return again promise? Because when we call API we have two promises. One is resolved with the, you can say that await, but another we have another promise to resolve the stringify format, read stream format to the JSON parse. So now let's again take a result, and it will just resolve JSON data, and again we need to put here await like this. And after that what we can do, we can just store this local storage dot get data, sorry, no, set data, we don't need to get here, set data, and what we can set here result. But again we cannot simply set this result data like this, because this is an JSON data. So let me just change it in a JSON dot stringify format, and now we can save it here. And after that we can just use here history dot push and send it inside add like this on an add page. So if everything should be fine, then it must have to work perfectly. And now let's see. So this is the pre-filled data. We can just remove it. anil@test.com, this is my email ID, and abc@123, this is my password. So now let's check again, and I just want to show you that this API will just hitting a backend. Here you can see that login API, but we just got an error with a set item. Let me just, yep, because when we are just setting item we must have to use here two parameters. I just missed the first one, which is a key, which should be a user info, right, and just call it again. Whenever I'm clicking it, now you can see that everything is working fine. So let's understand it step by step. First of all, this API is just get the data. We just sending email ID and password, and it return email ID, password, and name. After that, this data is stored inside local storage. Here you can see that, right? And this our login page is redirected to the add URL. Here you can see that this is for add product and this is add URL. And from header we have this drop down. From here we can just logged out, and this is our name. So whenever I will just click on it, you will find that this local storage will be just removed from here, and this functionality we made in the last video. I'm just going to click on logout. This data is gone from here, and we are just coming back on a login. So let me just use another user like Peter @test.com, and my password is same for every user so that I can remember that. 123, again login, and here we go. This is working fine and Peter is here. Even after refresh, everything is working great. How we can create our API for ad products, right? And as you know, we are creating a project for e-commerce dashboard. So that is really important, that how we just get to know that how we can add products with the file, right? Yes, we will also upload our images of our products with the help of API. So these are the points for this video. First of all, we will make a table in our database. Then we will make controller, model and router. Then we will send the data from the postman. As you know, with every API, we will just send the data from postman so that we can test it and all. And after that, we will store image and save the data inside our database. One more thing I just want to tell you, we never store our image in the database. We just store our image path in database, right? And store this image in some folders of our Laravel framework. And after that, we will test this complete API. So now let's start with the database, and let me just create a table name, and let's say my table name is our products, and let me add 3 more columns because we need it. I will tell you that where I need. So first of all, let me just create our ID, and it can be integer, and it can be our primary key also, and let's make it auto incremented because we don't need to just increment it by manually, so it will automatically increment. Then we can add here name and file path that we will upload from here, project description, then price, and updated and created date also. And let's define a data type. Now we can just take varchar for most of the things like path and all. Even I will prefer to make a varchar to the price also, because sometimes we use only discounted kind of keyword, and varchar is perfect for it. Even you can just take it integer also, it's totally up to you. And after that, let's take date for update and create. Let me put here again date. That's great. And length of this field, you can just take a random, because we are just creating a small project, so there is no tension for load and all. We have some limited users and limited product, right? But when you just make a real-time project, then keep in mind that these should be reliable things. And now let's save it. Great, our structure for our table is created, but table is still empty. So now let's add our products with the API. So first of all, I am just going to make a controller. So simply put here php artisan make controller and controller name, let's say product controller, and hit enter. Even you can create your model and controller with the same command. If you know that, then you can comment me how we can do it. And let's just create a model also. Why I'm creating with a different command? Because sometimes just viewers are just confused that why we are using only single commands and all, right? Even we can use a single command also. Now our model and controller is created. Here you can see that. So now let me just create a function, and function name can be add product, or for a moment, so that we can just see that everything is working fine. I'm just returning error hello for a moment. And now let's create a route for it. Go to api.php, import our file, and which is on the same path. We can just change controller name, and again let's copy and paste of one post request and change it. Let's say my path of this route is add product, and this function should be similar to the add product. So, and just keep in mind the capital letters and all, otherwise it will be just gonna give a problem. So now let's test that URL, is it working fine or not. let's select a post request. Sometime guys actually do the one mistake, which is from here they can select a post request and put request and something other, and from there they are actually selecting other things, like might be they need to just select here post, but they just putting on a get. So keep in mind that thing also. And just write here add product API URL, and let me check. Okay, there is some error. Add product is not exist. Just give me a moment. Yep, I made a mistake here. I must have to choose product controller here, right? Now let's hit it again. This is working fine, so there is no problem with the route. So now let's see that how we can just store a image first of all, then we will jump on the another things, right? So let me just select here any file name, like file name or something, right? Or you can just put here simply file, and it should be a file type. So just select here a file, and let's upload any file. For a moment I am uploading this Samsung and something image. And how you can store it, so let's just jump on your controller, and what you can do, simply just put here a request, so that we can just accept the requested data, and it will be a request class type, and from here we are just importing it. Now just simply put here $request file, and now your file name that you just choose here. If you just choosing here from file name, then you must have to select here file name also, but let's just choose only a file, and just put here a store method and your folder where you want to store. So where it will be stored, I just want to tell you, this is our Laravel backend, and just go to the store app, and here it will be stored if you don't know, if you did not provide any folder. So I'm just going to provide a folder name with the name of, let's say, products, right? And save it. Now let's try to hit it from here, and here you can see that this is basically returning a path, and we have a folder here and the image is stored here. That's great, right? So this is for a demonstration purpose. I'm just going to delete it for a moment, and let's send the more data and store in the database. So just send data from like name, and it can be like Samsung mobile A40 or something, and then price, let me just select here 10,000 bucks, and description, and a Samsung product, and let's send it. But we just want to check that what we are getting from here. So let me just provide here our input, so that we can check how many data we are getting from this request. Let me just see here, and here you can see that we are getting Samsung mobile, price, description and all. But where is file? Why this is not visible? Because this is not an input, this is a file type, right? If we have here text, then it can be included here, but now we are just selected here from file, and yes, this is a file, that's why this is not included here. But as we know how we can just see it, we will upload it, there is no problem. So import our model here, so app models product, and now let's create a product instance, say $product equal to new product, and just store this thing like name, and how we can get a name from a request input, and our request name for name is name. Let's add some more, like price, description, and then we can use this same description for here. And last thing, I'm just forgetting something, right? Yep, file, but it will just coming from our file request, and we want to store it in our products folder, right? So, and now you can just put here product, save function, and you can simply return here product, so that we can just get that what data we are actually storing. So let's try to hit it. If we have some, let me just put here price. If we have some problem, then we will see. I hope everything should be fine. And here we got a problem. We must have to choose here file, because we are just sending here file name again. Let me see. Yep, we have a file path in our database. We can just cross check it, what column we have in our database. File path, right? So we must have to use here file path, and let's try to store it again. Now you can see that everything is working fine, and we can just see in our folder, is it stored or not. This is stored 2 times because we just hit this request 2 times. Even you can just remove one after matching with the database. If you don't want to remove that, that's okay, there is no problem. Here you can see that we have a path, Samsung name and all. And now let's try to upload one more product. Let's say my another file for that time. Let me choose any random file, and let's say iPhone X. Let me add one more 0 here, and Apple product, an Apple product, sorry, my bad. You can just change it, that's my bad. And here you can see that we got the another request which is stored in a database. So with that way we can store in image and other product detail. How we can integrate add product API. So in previous video I created that add product API. If you want to watch that video, you can watch, link is given in the description box. And this is created inside Laravel framework. So now let's jump on points of this video. We will make a simple form, and after that we will define states to get the data from this form field, and then we will append this data inside our form data, because we will send an image also. That's why we are not sending this data in a JSON format. We will use a form data. Even I already told you that how we can just send up JSON data, so that you will just learn a new way to send data with API, which is form data. And after that we will send this data to the API, and we will test our complete API, right? So before integrating our API, we must have to test it on Postman, as I already told you in every video. So now let's see how we can do it. This API have the lots of fields. That's why I already created this fields and all. But if you still want that how you can just send the image and all with the form, then I can just show you. Let's take a post form type, then field, then your file name that you just want to send, and it must be a file type. After that we can choose file like this, and then you can add new fields like name, let's say X product or something, right? And description box, price and all. These all things are I already set here, so that we can just save our time. And here you can see that. So I'm just going to send data like everything will be same, just changing a data with the Google Pixel, right? And now let's send it. And here you can see that this is stored in database. Even as a front-end developer, you never been see a database, but as I created the API and database, that I can show you that this is created like this. Here you can see that our third one is Google Pixel, right? File path and a description box and everything is here, right? So again, let's see that how we can create a form and everything. So let's jump on a add product page. I'm just going to define here simply form field like input, type will be text, and let's close it. After that we can define our class name. Let's say form control, and here you can see the output. This is actually grabbing the complete width of our page, so I don't want to just make a style like this. So let me just add a div here, and let me add a class also. Again, class name can be call sm6 and offset sm3, and even you can use here a much better style. Let me just add here a 3, right? CSS for just taking this field, adding some margin or padding with this field, but as I just want to complete this video soon, so I'm just using a br tag, right? And now we have space here, so let's add here a Play Store, and we can just write here a name, and let's define some more fields, but again we need a br tag to maintain some space. 2 3 4, and it can be a file, and we can just simply put here a file, and after that price, description, and let's make all these text to the same level and just make it smaller. Everything is perfect. So now let me just add here a button also, like this. It's right here, add product. Even we can also add here some class name like btn, right? And btn primary, actually not prime. Now it's looking fine. So let's collect these field data with the states. So let me just define some states. Import state, import something from React. Let me add here a use state. Perfect. All right, so now let me just add here some states like name, set name, use state. By default name can be like blank or something, whatever you want, and 3 more fields for file, set file, and price, and let's add here a set price, and at last one description. And let me add here a set description. And let's get these data from these fields. So let me add here a on change event, and we can simply use here arrow function, get here event parameter, and write here set name and e dot target dot value. With that way we can get this field. And after that, what we can do here, let me add one more field, one more state for this field, which is a set file, but with the file we cannot get these value, we must have to get here files, right? And it's a 0th position file. And again let me just copy it and paste it with the two remaining fields, one for you can say price, and let me just add here a set price, and last one will be description. Now let me add here set description. And now let's just need to call a function on this button, click, and this function name can be like add product. And let's define it here, function this, and make it console dot one, and add here a name, file, price, description. And I just want to print that the data of all fields. And now let's try to print it on a button click. Let me add here some dummy name like xname, file, let me just grab some dummy file, price like 10, and description like x. And now let's add this, and let me just click once more here, and here you can see that x name and 10 and x and all data from a file also just set in the field. So now we can just call our API and send this data, right? So let me simply just create a form like const form data, and it will be instance of new form data. And all right, after that let me append the all this data, form data dot append, key name can be file, and our file state. With a similar way, let me add three more fields like price. You can also add here a price, which is our state name, and name state, description key, and description state. All right, and after that let me just write here, let's make this function async so that we can use await here. Let's take a variable, let's say result, and here let's use await fetch, and let's pass our API URL, and we can get this URL from here. And take up second parameter. In this let's add here two things. One is method name. Method name can be a post. Second thing can be body form data. All great, and just format this document. Now we can just show an alert after that data has been saved and something, right? And after just showing some proper message with the colorful thing and redirect to the another page, we will do it in the next video because I need to make here one more list page here for listing this product, right? And for now you can see that we have 3 products here. Let me add some more. Just write here mi mobile or something file. I have just one image for mobile. Let me just add this image only. And price, let's say 8,000. Description, let's say product, a mobile product, mobile phone or something, whatever you want. Let me just add it, and here you can see that we got data has been saved. And let me check it in the database. and here you can see that this is working fine. How we can make API for product listing? In last video we stored some product in our database with the add products API, and in this video we will access these all products. So first of all, we need to make a function and route for API, then we will get the data from the database, and we need to change some file configuration, file system configuration basically, and we need to run a command also so that we can access the files from Laravel, and after that we'll test this our complete API. So now let's start with the first thing. Let's make a function and a route of it. So I'm just going to make this function inside a product controller because all APIs that are related to the products we will make inside a product controller. So let's make a function with the name of list. Why I am putting a list name of this function, why not I am putting a product list and all? Because this is self understood. Our controller name is product controller, and here is we have a function that simply means this list is belong to the product listing. And let's return here and just put here our product controller model colon all, and this command is fair enough to just get the data from database as in listing, and just we need to define you can say that route for it. And for that, let's jump on api.php, and for quick time let's just copy and paste of the route and change it to the get method. List, this is our route name, and list, this list is basically belongs to our function name, right? And now this is fine. We can just show a list with that code. Let me just start putting a URL here for list API, and let's hit it. Here you can see that we are getting a list here with the ID 5, 7, 8 and 9. Other data is actually deleted at the testing time and the other videos time. And here you can see that this listing is existing in a database with the 4 products only, and the same thing we are getting here. But there is an issue. Everything will be work fine, but can we access these images? Actually not. Let's try it. Let's define a base URL 800, and let me put here products and this file name, and now you will find that we are getting 404. Why? There's a two reason of it. First thing, Laravel don't know that which image we need to show here, because we did not just give the link of this folder with this path. And second thing is by default storage folder is not public, so we need to make it public. So let's open a terminal, run a command here which is a php artisan storage link. But before that, as you know, we are storing our images in a product folder, right? So we must have to change the configuration. So for that, just go inside a config folder, file system, and let's put here products folder, and the public path also let's change with the products. Now we can run it, and here you can see that now we can access this these files, and the link is also created, right? So now just come back here, refresh it, and we can access this image. So with that way, the image is also accessible, and when we will just using them, these images with the file tag, we can access them. If you still have any kind of any question or query, you can ask me in a comment box. How we can make a route for product listing, as well as we will learn what is the use of route switches. So before just going to start with the points, I want to tell that we just missed the one router. Rather than it, we will just create all routes like add product, update product, registration and login. All routes are done here, but we missed the route for product listing. So we are going to make a product listing router in this video, and on a what route we will just make it. We will make it on a root router. Root router, that means we are not adding any postfix with the router, so it will be just visible on root router like this. But for a moment there is nothing to show. So now let's start it. We need to make a component for product listing. After that we will define a route for it, and we will use a switch, because when we are making a route for root router, you will find that there is a problem on every URL. We will just find that two components or two routes are visible with the same route. So we will resolve this problem, and after that we will test this complete flow. So now let's make a component with the name of, let's say, product list.js, and let's make a function with the product list, a return, and for a moment we can use here a div for return, and we will place here some text and header. But let's export it first of all. Export default and that one, and after that let's import a header here. Import header from header, and let's just define the header here. And now let's just write here some text also, like product listing or something. This is fine. So to use for it, we must have to import it in app.js. So let's import it. Import something from product list, and let's import the same module, and we can use it inside any route. So let me just create a route here, which is similar to the add product, because it should be protected also. So let me add here a product listing, and it should be visible on a route screen. So now you will find that everything is fine on home page, but whenever we will open a add product or update product, we are just seeing the two routes here, one which is home and another one is actually. The reason being because we are using this route at the root, that's why it will just getting the two routes, because it's passing through the root, and after that it will just going on update. That's why it will just showing the both of it. So how we can resolve this problem? So for that we can just use a switch, because when we use a switch will just select a one route which is just come at the first position. So let me import here switch, and we can use it inside a browser router like this. And let me just close it at the last like this. That's great. And one more thing that we need to do, we must have to use this home router at the last, like here. And now let's check. Everything is working fine, and home is also working fine, but we also need to add our list menu. So let's jump on header.js, and let's add one more route. Product list, and let's check it. Product listing working fine, and other routes is also working fine. So this is the way that how we can create a root router, as well as we can use a switch. How we can integrate API for product listing. So we already created APIs for add product, login, logout, registration, and now we will integrate our product listing API. So these are the points for this video. On a page load, we will call a API, then we will store this data inside our component state and display inside table data. or table format. And after that we will test our complete flow of this video. So yes, we need to test our API also, so that we can sure that our API is working fine. This is our API URL. This API I created in the last video, link is given in the description box, and this API is also created in Laravel, as we are creating other APIs also in Laravel, right? So get method for this API, and this is API URL, and you can just send a request with the postman, and here you can see that we have a 4 results with inside this API. So now let's integrate. I'm directly jumping on product list.js component, and let's import here React. Import React from React library, and after that we can import here use state and use effect. And yes, we need a bootstrap table also, so let's import it. Table from React Bootstrap. Great, let's define a state here, const data and set data for update and set state, and just right here use state 0, or you can see that a blank array inside it. After that, just right here use effect, and here let me just add here a blank array, so that this use effect should only call one time whenever our component is loaded. And let me just take a variable with the name of result, and just use your fetch API method. Let's provide our URL to this fetch method, and as you know, we must have to resolve this promise, so that we can just use here dot then, or we can use here async await. So async await is you can say that recommended thing, so I will use here async and await for result of this fetch. After that, our API promises has been resolved, but we must have to resolve our JSON promise also. So just right here result.json, and we need to put here a await keyword here. And after that, let's set data with this result, and now our API data will be just inserted in our state. So how we can check it? So let me check it first of all, then we will just further on move on another part, right? So just write here console.warn result, and here we can just simply use data, and let's check what we are getting inside this data. Let me open the console, and okay, let me just refresh it once, go to another page, come back on here, and just give me a moment. I think just might we are missing something here. Yep, actually my project is not in running state, so let me open a terminal here, and let me write here npm start. Within that time, I am just opening here a React Bootstrap table, so that I can show you what tags we have to use and how we can use it. So we just want to show a table like this, right? So we can use this table tag, and after that we can simply use here tr and td, whatever you want, right? So we will use this table format with our API data, and we will just make a table like this. So I think everything should be working fine. So result is already declared, as we can see that, so I don't need to put here again result here, right? And let's refresh it. Now you can see that we are getting a 4 result, as we have a 4 result on postman also, right? So let me define a table here and put this data inside a table format. So just put here a table like this, and we can use a tr, td. With the td we can put here a name, for id and something more like id, name, price, description, and last one for image, right? So let me check here what we are getting here. We have a single row now. So let's iterate this data, and we can iterate with this tr, right? So just simply put here data dot map like this, and put here tr, and here I can just take here one item, and let's see what we are getting here. Yeah, actually I don't need to put here this curly braces here, because we are already using it outside. So now you can see that we have repeated data, but this is actually inside a loop. So we can just change this data dynamically. So let me put here item.id, and with the every change you can see that we are getting here id now, and now we'll get a name, price and all. So put here item.name, and we are getting here names. Similarly with the price, item.price, item.description, right? And at the last, let's place here images, but we must have to just resize these images, because in a first moment you will find that the images are on a very large size. So just put here a file underscore path, and here we go. We have this URL, but we cannot this URL directly. We must have to use it inside a img tag, right? So put here src, and with the src we can simply use this path, but we also need to provide here a base path here, which is localhost colon 800, and after that we can just simply put here a slash, and we can use here plus sign also, right? And let me check here what we are getting. We are getting nothing here. We need to just check it again. Yeah, actually I just need to put here localhost 8080, right? Let's replace it with it, because in this text we have http and all also, right? Like this, localhost and all. And let me just check that this image is working fine or not. This is working fine, but might be there is some actually I just got that issue, sorry for that. I must have to use here src, and now we have a property, but image size are really big. So let me add here a style property also, style, and just simply put here width like 100 pixel or something, and now these are in a small size, right? So with that way we can use it. You can use here some small table also with the col sm and all. As you can see that in a register component, we actually used here call sm and all and offset and all. So the same thing we can do also here. And let me just close this. And after that, let me just make me enlarge this size a little bit. Now this is looking much better than last, but I know, but this is not a best design. But yes, we are not focusing on a design part here, so we are working on a logical part. So thanks for watching this video. If you still have any kind of question, you can ask me in the video, and in the next video we'll see that how we can update these products also, right? And thanks for watching this video. Bye bye, take care. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anil, and in this React with Laravel project video tutorial, we will learn that how we can make API for delete our product. In last video, we created a list of our product. So let's say you just want to delete any product from our list. That how you can do it. For that, you need a API, and in this video, we will make that API. And for that, we need a router and a controller function. After that, we will write some code for delete product, and at the last we will test this API on a postman. Before just jumping with the code, I just want to tell you that if you are planning to buy a hosting or a domain, then you can do it with the domain racers. There is a lots of reason of that. They are providing the low price domain and hosting, and they have free website builder tool. If you are not familiar with the code, then you can use this tool also. Good customer services and fast hosting speed also. And here you can check that they are providing the hosting only in 59 rupees per month. So let's go for it. Right now, let's jump on our project. So obviously we need a controller for that, to writing a function for delete our product. So, and we are using a product controller for that. So let's create a function here and just write here delete function, and for a moment, so that we can check that routing and everything is working fine, so that we can print our ID, and we will get this ID from this parameter like this, right? And our controller function is ready now, so we just need to route for it. So let's just jump on a api.php and make a route for it. And to make it quickly, you can just copy and paste of code. This is your router name, this is the function name that you just created inside a product controller here, right? And how we can just get this ID, I will tell you that also. For that, you just need to use a slash and just simply use here curly braces and ID, and with that you just need to pass your parameter with your URL, and you will get in your controller. And you can use your delete method also. Let me just write here delete, right? So now let's test it with the postman that routing and everything is working fine or not. So let me just open one more tab right here with your port number, and at the last let's put here delete with the ID. So let's say I just want to print the ID 200, and let's select the delete method. If you will select any other method, then it will give you an error, so be careful with that. And let's hit now. Now you can see that this is returning our ID that we just passed from here. That means everything is working fine, right? So now what we need, we just want to delete our product, so that we just need to write here code with our model, right? So just take a variable with the name of $data or $result. Result is more suitable, and just write here product colon, and just write simply here where, right? And here we can pass here the ID. We will use a parameter, and let's take this parameter inside the second option, and just simply use here delete method, right? And now you can just simply put here if $delete is true, then what you can do it, just return something here like result product has been deleted, right? Now let's test it. Okay, so let me check the product ID first of all. So here you can see that I have a product ID with the number 17. Let me pass here number 17 and let's check here what we are getting here, and we got an error. So let me check what we just forgot to put, because we need to use here a result. Sorry, my bad. And now it should work fine. And yeah, this product is deleted by the last time, so we can use a 16 now. And here you can see that we got that result, right? Okay, so this is deleted now. You can just check it with the refreshing our page. Now we have only last ID with the 12, right? So if you are trying to delete them again, then it will provide you blank result because we are just putting here condition, right? And if you want, then you can put here some condition, right? Like this, return, and you can put here simply operation failed or something, whatever message you want to return, right? And here you can see that operation failed because we don't have the product with the ID 16. This is already deleted, right? So let me try to add one more product. So let's say I just want to delete it here, and now we have a product with the ID 18, right? Let's check it here. Do we have it right here? So let's delete it again. With the product ID, first time it will just give to the result which is product has been deleted because now this is deleted, right? And again if I'm trying to delete it, then it will just give that operation failed. So with that way we can create our API. If you still have any kind of confusion, you can ask me in the comment box, and next video we will integrate this API in our React. Thanks for watching this video. Bye bye, take care. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anil, and in this project video we will learn that how we can delete our product with the API. So why we need it? So obviously we are just making a e-commerce project here, and maybe our product is outdated, this is not available in market, there is any kind of reason, right? That's why we just want to remove our product from this list. So how we can do it? For that we need a API. API we already created in the last video. If you want to watch that, link is given in the description box. And in this video we will integrate this API with React.js. So what we need for that, first of all we need a button for delete operation. Then we will add some style on this button. After that we will call a function on this button and we'll pass a ID in this function. And at the last we will call our delete API and pass this ID to this delete API, and our product will be deleted, and we'll test this flow many times after adding more products and remove products and all, right? So now let's start. Okay, so as you know, first of all we always need to test our API that this is working or not, right? So I'm just going to add a product. Let's say my product name is X product, and I'm adding some random images to it, and let's say price is 10,000 bug. X product is a description, and let's click on the add. So this is added, and we can just see that inside our product list with the ID number 12. So I just want to delete it, so I'm just going to remove that one and opening a new tab so that I can just show you from a scratch. We need to select a delete method from here, and now select our API URL. So we need a 8000 URL API and delete. This is our path, and after that we need to pass here our ID of product, which is 22 here. So let me just put here 22 and click on it. Now you can see that product has been deleted, and you can test it. Let's say just go another page and come back here, and now you can see that we again have only 3 products. Product with the ID 22 has been deleted. So that's great. That means API is working fine. So if you just try to delete it again, then you will find that it will just give you an operation failed because we cannot delete a product which is already deleted. That's great. Okay, so now let me add some more products so that we can delete them. Let's say my product name is MI Mobile, and let me add some image. It can be dynamic, and let's say 8,000 bugs and mi product or something. We can put some description, right? Working great. Let me add one more. Let's say Reebok jeans. Let me add one more image for that, and this is again a random image, some 2000 bucks and a jeans or something. We can add anything because we are just making a dummy product. So this is working great. We got the both products here. So now let's add a code for delete our API, right? Delete our product. So for that, let's go inside a src folder, and we are just written this code inside a product list. So let me add one more column here, which is operations, because after some time we will add update operation also. So that I just make this column name operations, and just let me take one more column again, and I can just simply take a span here, and let me add here a delete text. Working fine, but not looking great, because we need to show it like a button. So that I am just going to write here some small CSS here. So let me add here a background color, let's say red color, let's say FFF or white, padding let's say 3 pixel, border radius 5 pixel, and you can add some more padding if you want. And color you can change if you are just thinking that this is a bright red color, right, like this. Right, and we can just add here a cursor also cursor pointer, and now we have a hand on this icon. So it will be great. We can just copy this CSS from here to in app.css. Let me just create a delete class and add this CSS here, and let's add a class name delete, and let's check the color of all button. This is working great, right? So let me call a function on this. Let me just write a on click. Even you can use here a button also, but I just want to show you that in React you don't need to button only for click event. You can add the click event on any HTML element. So let me call this delete operation function, and let me pass here id, and this id is actually coming as an item.id, right? And let me define this function this, and we are getting id as an element, as an parameter. And let me add here a delete alert method, and let's just alert this id, and let's see the id is perfect or not. The id should be 13 on click of item. This is working great. id should be 7 on this click. Great. id 5. Great. All right, so what I just want to do here, I want to call an API now. So just write here a fetch, and after that your API URL like this, and id we can pass it like id like this, and after that we can take a parameter which is a method, and method can be delete, right? And we can handle it with the promise, or you can use here async await, right? So I like to use here async. Let me take a result variable, await for it, and it will return again a promise. So what I can do here, I can just simply take here a result dot JSON, and we can add await again inside it, right? Like this. All right. So now what we can do, we can check that what is coming inside our result console.warn, right? And we can print it. And after that, what we let's see that product is deleted or not. And after that, I will show you that how we can just remove currently with from here also. So let me just delete the product number 23, and let's check that is API working fine or not. So let me click on it. Here you can see that our delete request is sent and we got that product has been deleted, but still this is present here. It will just delete it from our DOM element after refresh. But this should not be a great approach, right? We should delete this product whenever our on a button click also. So that what we can do here, for that you can just call this stuff again, right? But it will make your code duplicate. So what I'm just going to do, I'm going to make a function here, function get data or get list, whatever you want to put this result here, make it async. Now we don't need this async function here, and just call it from here as well as here, right? Now let's see what we are getting. So let me just click on product number 24, and here you can see that this is deleted from the DOM also, because whenever our result is just fetched, after that the get data API just called again and it will re-render our old DOM, right? So this is we don't need to refresh our page for show the deleted product, right? For remove the product. If you still have any kind of confusion, you can ask me in the comment box. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and like this video. Bye bye, take care. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anil, and in this React.js and Laravel project video tutorial, we will learn that how we can make API for get single product data. So these are the points of this video. First of all, we need to make a controller and a router. After that, we need to pass the product ID to the controller function, and we will get the result from the database. And at the last, we will test this complete flow with the Postman also. Before just going to start with this example, I want to show you some important information. If you are looking to buy a domain name or hosting, then you must have to buy with the domain racer, because they are providing hosting and domain name at very low cost. Here you can see that the hosting plan is starting with the 59 rupees per month. They have some several other benefits also. Their customer care service are really good. If you are facing any kind of issue, they are reply you very quickly and resolve your problem. After that, they have a free website builder. If you are not familiar with the code too much, or you are a beginner, then you can use this free website tool, and this is totally free of cost, right? Then you can use it and you can build your website without writing any kind of code. So now let's start with our example. So let me just make a function inside a product controller. So let's make a function, and let's say my function name is get product, and for a moment I am just returning a ID so that I can just check that URL and function is everything is working fine, right? Get product. And why I just put the get product, because we are getting only single product with that function. And after that, let's make a route for it, and just make the copy and paste of the previous URL so that we can do it very quickly. Our method name will be method type should be get, and you can just use your product as an URL and ID. After that, just provide your controller function here, which is get product, like this, right? And now we can test it. So let me just simply put here localhost 8000 API, and here we can just write here product and with the product ID. So I'm going to put here product ID 7 for a moment, and you can see that this is returning ID. That means everything is working fine. So now what I can do here, let me just get the data with the behalf of this ID from product model, product scope resolution method, or you can say that : find $ID, right? And after that, let's check that what we are getting here. Here you can see that we are getting the data for our product number 7. You can see that we have a product number 7 with the Samsung mobile and price and all, right? And let's say just want to just try to get the data with the ID of 2, which is not available here, right? So we are just checking that there should not be any kind of error. Here you can see that data is totally blank. That means that okay, but there is no error, right? Let's try the ID 25, then you will get the Samsung M40 and some other details, and here we have that, right? Let's try to add one more product. Let's say Micromax, and with the Micromax, let's select any random image and price like 15,000 bucks. Mobile or something, whatever you want to put here, right? After that, let's just jump on a product detail, and here you can see that we got the Micromax, the ID number 26. So now let's try to fetch the data with the ID 26. Here you can see that this is also again working fine. So with that way, you can just create a API for getting a single result at a time. If you still have any kind of confusion, you can ask me in the comment box. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and like this video. Bye bye, take care. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anil, and in this React project video tutorial we'll learn that how we can make pre-filled data inside a form. And I also added one more line before update. Yes, when we are updating any product, we need to pre-fill a data inside a form. Why? I will show you. So in this video, we will make a update button here, and on this button click, we will redirect our page on a update product, right? And here we have a form so that we can add a new value for the product and we can update it, right? But with that, we also need to check our current value so that I can just pre-fill these values like name, price and description inside this form. For that, we need our form pre-filled whenever our page is loaded. So now let's see how we can do it with the API. So let's start with the points. First of all, we will make an update button. After that, we will define route and redirect our page on this button click to the update component. And we will pass our product ID with the parameter. You can say that the URL parameters. And after that, we will send this ID to the API, and API will just return the data according to the ID. And we will make our HTML form, and with this API data we will make pre-fill this HTML form whenever our page is loaded. And I will show you that how we can just show the image also with that. So let's start. And yes, before we are updating or integrating any API, we must have to test this API on Postman. We are testing all our APIs like register, login, list and all. So here it is our you can say that product detail API, right? So you can select your get method, and this is our API URL with the product and with the dynamic ID. So like I just want to put in my ID 5. Now we can get this data like this, right? That means API is working great. Let's say just I'm adding here ID 26, and still this is working fine. So we will integrate this API because this is ready. Now let's start with the product list page, and here it is, product list. So I am just going to add one more TD here like this, and I'm just going to update this context like update. I don't need update class, delete class here. I'm just changing it with the update. I don't need this function also, so that I will remove it. Now let's add a update class in the CSS. So just open app.css here, and let me add here a dot update class, and let's copy this data, this old properties here, and change this red color to green, right? Now let's see what we are getting on our page. So we are getting here a green button. That's looking great. So now let's redirect our page from product list to update, right? So what we need for that, we need a link for that. Let's import a link on top of the page. Import something from React router DOM, and let's import link, right? And now let's just take me this link in a line like this. You don't need to close it here, and after that let's close it here, right? And we need to add here a to property also, so that we just need to know where we just want to redirect it, right? So let's put here a update, and we can use here curly braces because we need to pass here dynamic ID also, and just add a plus sign with item.id, right? Because item is just iterating our data, and we are getting ID, name, price, and everything, and here we will get the ID. So now let's see what actually happened there. When we are clicking on ID 7, this is passing in the URL. That's great. This is redirecting, but one more thing that we need to do. Let's go to the app.js, and here you can see that we already created the path for update, and let's change it with the ID parameter, so that we can get this number with a specific parameter, which is ID. If I'm passing here name, like, then we can get this number with the name parameter, right? But ID is perfect for that, because this is really a ID of our product. Now let's go to the product update, and what we can do here, first of all, let's import React router DOM, and we have a property with that, with the with route, and use this with router as a high ordered component. We call it high ordered component, right? As an wrapper of our function. And let's get a parameter from here, and let me just console.warn our props, and let's see what we are actually getting it here. All right, and here you can see that in our props we are getting some properties like history, location, match, and look at the match. We are getting parameters with the ID 7, right? So what we can, how we can just get it with the match with params.id. And now let's see, are we getting 7 here or not? And here we go, we are getting 7, right? Let's try with another ID. Let's try with the ID 26, and here you can see that we got the ID 26. Great. So now let's define the use effect, import the use effect, and use state, because we need it. So I will show you why we need them from React, and use state and use effect. So let's define state, so that we can get the data from API and store it inside state. So let's put here data, set data, use state, and by default value can be blank array or whatever you want. That's totally up to you, right? Now just use here use effect, and as you know, this accept a parameter like this, and just put here a fetch function, pass our API URL here, and at the last one will be dynamic, so we can put here like props.match and ID and all like this. And this function can be async because we will use async await keywords, so that we don't need to add here a long then and all, right? So async let result is await fetch, great. And again we can just put here a result with result dot await, and oh sorry, we have to use here JSON function, and we need to use this await as an keyword like this. And now let's store this result to the data state like this. Everything is working fine. So let's add here some input also, like input type, let's say text, and after that let me add here a default value, can be like data dot name for a moment, right? And so that we can maintain some space, I am just adding here some br tags also, and at the last let's add a button also. Update product or something. So let's see what we are getting. We are getting here Micromax because this is the product hour. Here you can see that from the Micromax. If I'm just accepting ID25, then there will be Samsung M40. So let's define some more fields for price, for you can say that description. So let's add here price description. Yep, everything is working great. So now we need to add here our image also, but before that let's add here a file type, and we can put here data file path like this, right? Let me check with is there any issue with that. I think just need to refresh it. Yep, this is working great. So let me add here one more image tag, img src, and in the src what we can put here http colon localhost 800. This is our base URL, right? That's why I'm just hard coding it. Even you can just make it in a constant file, or you can save it on a single place so that you can reuse it, and if you want to change it, you need to just change only on one place, right? All right. I can use this srcr like inside JSX plus data plus data file underscore path. So let me guess what we are getting here now. We can just close it like here. File path is not defined again. Let me, yep, we have to use here dot property, and refresh it again. Okay, but the image is really big, so that we can add some style with that. Style width like 100 pixel, right? And now we can again add some br tags with that also, so that we can just maintain the small parallel space with all. This is looking much better, right? So here you can see that we can just get our pre-filled data. If you still have any kind of confusion, you can ask me in the comment. We can just check with the other products also. This is working really great. What happened with that? Sometime API is taking time, but that's okay, right? Great. Can just go back again, and we can check with the all products. Everything is working fine. So thanks for watching this video. Bye bye, take care. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anil, and in this Laravel with the React.js project video tutorial, we'll learn that how we can make API for search a product. So these are the points for this video. First of all, we will make a routing and a controller function also. And after that, we will write some code to search a product inside our controller function. And at the last, we will test our API with Postman. Before starting with this video, I want to share information with you. If you are looking to purchase domain name or hosting, then you can purchase it with the domain racer, because they are providing hosting and domain name at a very low price. You can see that hosting is just starting with the 59 rupees per month, and you will get a really good technologies with these plans. You will get a light speed technology with the SSD disk, and you will get a free SSL certification also. One more thing, they have a free website builder tool. If you are not familiar with the code, or you don't want to use code so that you can make your website very fast, so that you can use that tool. And this is totally free of cost, and you don't need to write any kind of code with this tool, and your website will be ready within a uh, you can say that minutes, right? So let's back to our video. So first of all, we need a router, so just make a route for it. So I am just going to make a get route and provide a route name, which is search, because we are making a API for search. And you can use here any key like ID or something. I will provide here a key, because ID we are not passing here, we will passing a name here, but this is a specific key. It can be just part of or a character of your name set, so that we can just write it a key. And after that, let's take a second parameter, and in this second parameter put your controller name, which is product controller colon class. And at last, second parameter of or second value of this array, we can put here our function name, and which will be a search. And now let's jump on a product controller and write this search function. So just simply write here function search, use a dollar key, and simply return here. First of all, let's return here this key, so that we can check the routing and our function is working fine or not, right? So let me just open a new tab, get request, and you can just get here localhost 800 API and search, right? And after search, you can put here any key, like I just want to put here Samsung. So let's see what we are getting, Samsung or not. We are getting Samsung, that means routing and everything is working fine. So now we can write here our key, our code for getting the product with the database name. So just return, and our model name, which is product colon where, and in this where we will use three parameters. One, on which column we want to apply this search functionality. Then we can put here a like. A like will just tell that we just want to find this word, and it can be just a prefix, suffix, or in the middle. We just want to find it, right? It should be available inside our name of this table. And at the last, let me just use here uh, ampersand dollar key, and there is a get function available to get this data. Now let's check everything is working fine or not. So here you can see that we got here two product with the name of Samsung. If I just put here uh, let's say MI, right, then you will find that we got a two result, and both have a mi character in name. Here you can see that mi mobile, and here we have a mi in Micromax. So if I just put here in, then it will just give a Micromax in, and even I can put here M40, which is a mobile name. Here you can see that Samsung mobile name, right? So if I just search it this character also, then you will find we have only one Samsung, because this is a wrong spelling for Samsung, right? And if we just search that one, then we have another two product with the ID 728. So that's the way that how we can create a search functionality for API. If you still have any kind of confusion, you can ask me in the comment box. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and like this video. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anil, and in this React and Laravel project video tutorial, we will make our search component. Keep in mind, we will integrate our search API in the next video, because if I am going to do all these things like making search component, routing, links, and search box like Google, and integrate API and showing the list, then it will take around 30 minutes and video gonna very lengthy. So we will break it in the two part. In this video, we are not going to integrate API. So what we will implement in this API, first of all, we will make a new component for search. We will make route and links for this, and we will add a big input box for search result, and it's like a Google search, right? And at the last, we will test our complete flow for this. We can go to the other routes, and when we are just jumping on this route, then it should be work fine. Before starting with this video, I want to share information with you. If you are looking to purchase domain name or hosting, then you can purchase it with the Domain Racer, because they are providing hosting and domain name at a very low cost. You can see that hosting is just starting with the 59 rupees per month, and they provide you light speed technology with the SSD disk, so that your website will work really fast. And they also provide you free SSL certification also, and one more, and which is a very important thing, they provide you a free website builder. It's totally free of cost, and you can make your website without knowledge of coding and all, right? If you want to make website without code and want to do it really fast, like within 1 or 2 days, then you can use this tool. This is absolutely free of cost. So let's come back to our video and make our search product component. So I'm just going to write a new component like search component for product. You can say that .js. So we can do all these things very fast, so that I'm just going to copy the code from add product to here, because we need a header and React, all kind of similar things, right? So we can just copy and paste the code, and we can save our time. After that, we don't need this stuff, so we can just simply remove this, all of these things. And for a moment, I am putting here a h1 tag like search product, right? So component is almost ready, but we just need to change here a text which is search, and we can import it also. And let's go in on the app.js and import it and create a route for it. So simply write here import search product from search product, and let's create a new route for it. You can copy the any route, whatever you want, and make a duplicate copy of it, and let's change the path for it. So I will create a link with it with the name of search, or our path and link should be always same. And after that, I will provide a component which is search component search product, right? So this is also great. So now you will find that if you are just putting here a search keyword like this, then search component is loaded, but there is a no route, no link for it. So let's create a link for it in header.js, and let's create one more link to it will be search, because it should be the similar with the path, and just write here search product. Now go to the list search product, add product, like this. So we can just format this code. Everything is ready now, so we can just change this text with the input box also. Now let's come back here and we can add here a br tag so that we can maintain some space. Now take input box, type can be text, you can close it, but now it's actually looking very small. So what we can do here, we can add a bootstrap class with it, class name, and we can add it like form control, like this. And after that, what we can do here, we can just add here a placeholder also, like search component, search product, like this, right? So now we can just move on the other routes also, and they are working really great. So in the next video, we'll integrate our search API and our result will be visible here. So thanks for watching this video. If you still have any kind of confusion, you can ask me in the comment box. Bye bye, take care. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anil, and in last video we created a component for search product, and in this video we will integrate our API in this search product component. So first of all, let's see that where we are going to integrate our API. So here you can see that whenever we will search some product like Samsung or Apple or something, then we will see the result here in this area from the API, right? So let's start with the points of this video. First of all, we will test our API with the Postman. Then we will make a function and we'll call our search product API in this function. After that, we will show our API result in a table, and at the last, we will completely test our product flow. So let's start with the Postman. So here you can see that this is our API URL, and whenever we are searching something, then it will search the result basis on the name. So here you can see that M40, and if I just put here Sam, then if it give the result which is related to the Samsung, right? And if I just put here MI, then it will search two more product like MI Mobile or Micromax, because we have a MI at the starting of this Micromax. So API is working fine. Now we can start with our code. So let's open search product page, and first of all, I am just going to make a function here, function search, and in this you can see that search function we will call our API, right? But first of all, we have to call it on change of this text, right? So on change, and I'm just going to pass this value of this text box to this function. So just use arrow function and just write search, and here you can put here event parameter like event dot target dot value. Great. Now what we can do here, let's get this ID here like key, and try to console it that we are getting the perfect value or not. Console.won key. And now let's get back here and see in a console that everything is working fine or not. So let me put here hello. This is working great, right? Here you can see that. So now let's call our API here. So what API we have to call? This. So as we know, this is a get API, so we can just simply put here let result equal to fetch and our API path, which is that one, and we will just change our product name or search keyword dynamically, and here we can pass here plus key, which is coming in this function as an parameter. And after that, we don't need this queries parameter, because this is a get function, so we don't need to write here methods and other things. So now when we are calling API, then the result is always in a promise, so we can resolve it also. So just simply put here async. And now let's put here await keyword, and again you know that API result will give us a stream, readable stream, so we can convert it inside the JSON format with the help of again JSON function, and it always return a promise. So result await result.json. Now this is in the readable format, right? So now how I can just get this data inside our HTML? So we can use state. So define a state now, const take data state name data and set data for update our data, right? And it will be a use state. By default value can be blank array, right? And now set data with this result. All right, so everything is fine. We know that we want to create our search list like this, right? So what we can do here, we can just copy this code, because if we will write this code, then we have to write code for image, complete header table and all, and it will take time. So we can save our time with that. So first of all, just go to the product list and copy this table. I think table is not copied, so we can just copy it again and paste it here. But now there is an issue, because we have to import this table from a bootstrap, right? So just because if you want to check that, then you will find that table is not defined here, and delete function and link is also not defined here. So two things we can delete here, because we don't want to delete our product from here. So let's delete this link and remove this update and delete code, right? And if you want, then you can just put these functions also here, right? Delete operations and all, you can also put there if you want. All right, so now again what we need to do, we have to import something from not with the dot, which is from the React bootstrap, and let's write here table. All right, and after that, what we can do here, we can now it should working fine. Here you can see that there is a no error at all, and whenever we will search something, then we will get a result inside this result variable, and it will set here. So for confirmation, we can make a console also here, console dot warn, and put here result. And let's see how it's working. I'm putting here a Sam, and here you can see that we got here 4 products, and now we have 4 products here, working great. So if I just put here simply mi, then we have a 2 product with the mi mobile and micromax, and we have 2 result also here. So if we are going to just clear it completely, then you will find that we are getting 6 result, because 6 products have some they are actually all products, because we are not writing any query and all. That's why it will just give all the results, right? So if you want to prevent that, then you can prevent it with the 0 results. You can just check here, if we are pressing the 3 keys, then the result should be there or something, right? These kind of things. But by default, I will okay with that. If we are not putting anything inside this text box, then all results should be there. That's great. I don't have any issue with that, right? So thanks for watching this video. If you still have any kind of confusion, you can ask me in the comment box, and this is working really great. Here you can see that, right? This is a autocomplete search, you can see that. Bye bye, take care.